Hello, welcome to Deadline Day. It's been an eventful window so far, and it could get even more eventful. Let me show you what I mean. Yes, hello, welcome on to 11am Sports, here for the Killie boys on Football Manager 21. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Come on. I mean, we've done over 100 episodes of this now. It deserves a subscribe. Come on. Today's episode is going to be very special because we're going to start off not by showing you two games. We're going to only have one game today, but we are going to go through Deadline Day. And the reason for that is there could be some interesting transfers happening over the next 24 hours. So technically it's 8 o'clock in the morning, so it's, 11 o'clock the window closes, so 15 hours, something like that. It could be very interesting. I'm going to talk you through it as the stuff happens. There has been some stuff that's already happened in the window, some confirmed sales and buys, and I'll quickly talk you through them. Just a couple major ones to mention on the outs. Bagazo, who you remember scored 2 goals in those games you saw in the last episode, I've sent him out on loan to Hull. I'll be honest, I'm not sure why, mainly because all the players who he was replacing are coming back from injury, and he's going back down to the reserve so he can take his place in Hull. I mean, to be honest, I feel a bit sad for him, and I think I would be pretty annoyed if I'd scored 2 goals in my 3 games and then was sent out on loan somewhere, but Gazzo's out on loan. And the big out is Bobby Thomas has gone to Shanghai, and I'm sure you remember from last year, another player we have previously sold is went to Shanghai here. Jamie Hamilton. Remember, Jamie Hamilton went for 20 million a couple of years ago, and now Bobby Thomas has went here for 32.5, possibly going up to 36.5, making profit on him after we bought him 18 months ago. I mean, I couldn't really turn that down for a man of Bobby Thomas. He's 29 years old. He's likely only just going to start to decline. He's reaching his peak now. He's earning £87,000 in China. I couldn't offer him that, so he was more than happy to go there. Played 32 times for us in the league in total over 18 months, scoring 4 goals. He was very, very solid for us. A big miss, but we have replaced him. And I know what you're thinking, did I really have to replace him? We've got hundreds of centre-backs. But I'd already actually signed this player before we sold Thomas. I know. I know, so it was kind of good that someone had offered 30 million for Thomas. We've signed Sergio Perez, not the Formula 1 driver, but the centre-back from Uruguay. We paid £10 million for him from Nacional in Uruguay. I think we might have overpaid slightly for the player that is at the moment, but he's still our best centre-back, according to the Star rating. Can reach 4.5. Very good physical stats there. Only 6 foot, which is maybe slightly worrying, but he's got some nice statistics. 16 marking, 16 tackling. Maybe improve his heading, but as he's 6 foot and his jumping reach is only 12 as well, maybe heading's not his thing, which is not really what you want to say when someone's a centre back, is it? But he's got good anticipation, good bravery. Sorry, not good bravery is what I meant to say there. It's only a 7, but it's got good leadership. You know, his position's okay as well. Nice work rate, and physically, his acceleration of 17, pace of 16. He'll be able to cover at the back alongside Darren Anderson. So I think it's a very good signing. And I'll be honest, there's not a huge number of signings who are actually going to mean anything for us at the moment. There's a lot of kind of young players who are in the reserve squad, and we'll see what they develop into. Carlos Hernandez may be the pick of them. I know, another centre-back. I have a problem. I keep bringing them in. But see, he's got some very nice physical stats as well. His report suggests he could be a 4.5-star player, currently 2.5. We got him for a free from LA Galaxy, so I can't really complain about that. But yeah, not a huge amount to talk about, apart from Sergio Perez coming in, basically replacing Bobby Thomas, and we've ended up getting £25 million into the bank. The reason, however, I am showing you Deadline Day is because of this. Guangzhou have made an offer for Graneta. It was initially £30 million. I pleaded with the board to say no. I didn't accept it. The board accepted the offer. I pleaded with them. They said, no, we're going to take it. I said, so at least get some more money, and they've made it up to £35 million. But yeah, it looks like we're going to lose Graneta, which is very disappointing indeed. Look how good a player he is. He's scored so many goals for us this season. In the league, he's played 17 games and scored 24. In the Europa League, 6 starts, 9 goals. He's really good. He scores lots of goals, and it's likely we're going to lose him. But I will show you if we do. You can see we've got 13 hours to see if they can make this deal happen. I think they probably will, seeing as the board's already accepted it and China often has lots of money, but we'll see what happens there. But we do have the possibility of bringing another player in. Alfredo here is someone who had an offer in for him. We've also offered him a contract. He looks quite well rounded. He's one of those players that we quite like that seems to play across all the front. He can't play on the right, but he can play everywhere else across. He can also drop into midfield if he had to attack in mid, left wing. He could easily play up front. He's apparently rated a 4-star. I would say it's probably going to be down closer to a 3-star player. Finishing's only 12, but it could be improved slightly. But nice first touch, nice heading. He's only 6 foot, but he's got 16 heading. He's got nice natural fitness at 18 as well. He's got a lot of greens in there. Determination, flair, off the ball. His vision's good. Passing at 15. I think he's a very good, skillful player, and we'll see if we can get him. But just now we've made an offer for him of £13 million, and it looks like it's going to be accepted. Fingers crossed. If Cranetta goes, we'll bring him in, and we'll have someone in there. Again, £20 million less. When I say £20 million less, I mean we've made £20 million in total. If you take the 35 million we've made from Cranetta, spend just about 13 on this player. I mean, maybe got a slightly worse player, but still a player in there nonetheless. So I'm going to advance my way through the deadline day, and I'll talk to you if anything interesting happens. Before we jump through deadline day, I'll quickly show you the games we've played since the last episode where we beat Aberdeen and Ayr. Had a lovely friendly against Lech Poznan where Nketiah, Jovic and Bukert scored goals. We then played Aberdeen in the Scottish Cup 4th round. Cranetta and Ryan Hamill scoring the goals in that one. We drew 0-0 with Celtic, a game, to be honest, we probably deserved to win, but a 0-0 draw, and then we've just beaten Hibs 5-2, which is showing you why I really want to keep Cranetta. He scored 4 goals in that game. Sergio Perez did score his first goal for the club in that game, so for 5-2 we won it. So we played Ross County in the Scottish Cup 5th round, which you won't get to see. You might get to see the round after that. And in the Scottish Premiership, we are 6 points behind Rangers, and we're 2 points behind Celtic, but Celtic have played a game more. Rangers and Celtic have recently just played, and they drew that. No, sorry, Celtic won that game. It was not a draw. So Celtic had beaten Rangers, and then Celtic have just drawn with St Mirren. Hence we can jump above them, but just 6 points away from Rangers now getting there. And there we go. Cranetta has signed for Guangzhou. Disappointing, really. I can reach 35 million. The board have given us 22 into the bank. The board thought it was too good to turn down, so they had to do it. So it's 27.5 up front after 50 league games, 7.5 million, and we get 20% of the profit from the next sale. You can see that they have signed him there. Oh, that's disappointing. How much is he earning? £94,000. Well, that's a lot more than we could have offered him, so I can understand why he's gone to Guangzhou. Enjoyed China, Cranetta. Another player who we're selling here on deadline days, Heiko Weiss. We signed him a couple of years ago for £4.5 million, played 1 game for us. Yep, we're selling for £1 million. Less said about that, the better. And Birmingham have made an offer for Hamill, which we're rejecting. Pena has had an offer made on them by Cardiff, which we reject. And also Jovic has had an offer from Man United, which we reject. I'll be honest, I think he'll probably want to go there, and he might be a bit unhappy that we've blocked it, but we'll see what happens. One other thing I'd like to point out is we have got one of our youth players in the academy called Gordon Ramsay, who plays at left back, and that's exactly where the chef Gordon Ramsay plays when he plays football as well, so it's a bit frightening. Brentford have made an offer for Morris. We're going to reject that, but thankfully we can see here the work permit for Alfredo has been granted, and we will accept that, and Alfredo will join to replace Cranetta. You can see he's a 3.5-star player. You can see actually the fans already say he'll be a great replacement for Cranetta. I'll ask Lambert to welcome Alfredo to the club, and let's have a look at some of these stats. He's looking very, very tasty indeed. Very nice. This could be an adequate replacement for Cranetta. 20-year-old Brazilian player coming in from, I think, ATM Atletico Mineiro, aren't they? He's only scored 10 goals in 46 last season, but he did have an average of 7.2. He scored 17 the year before that and 20 the year before that. He is a goal scorer, 53 and 173. Hopefully he can do the same here. We have signed him for 13 million initially. I'm looking forward to that. I must say he's going to be a good player. Hopefully he can hit the ground running, and he can just about replace all the goals from Cranetta. Just finally, as the last thing we'll get to see of Cranetta here, he played for us last year, scoring 21 goals in 33 games in the league. This season, he's a 24 from 18, and he's 36 from 27 altogether. Cranetta was amazing. If Alfredo can even be half that player, we'll do well. All that excitement before 10:30 in the morning. We'll see if anything else happens throughout the day, but it looks like it might be getting slightly quiet now that our strikers have been bought and sold. Dundee have offered for Blondin. Billy Blondin's one of our youth players. I'm going to reject that. He's got some good potential. If any big names signings happen or offers come in, I'll talk to you. But if there's just wee ones like that, probably not going to let you know. Just as I say that, Cadiz have come in for an offer for Ryan Hamill, and I'm not going to accept that. We're going to jump on. We're now into mid-afternoon. We've just got a little bit to go to make sure that we don't have any more players lost. Brentford made an offer for Sibley. Not bad for our backup kind of left back and midfielder, but no, he's not going there. And Reading have made an offer for Ryan Morris. We're not going to accept that Ryan Morris offer. And actually, just seeing an offer for Ryan Morris there has made me remember of one signing, which didn't look like it cost a lot of money, which is why I didn't mention it to you, but it's quite a big one. We have signed another goalkeeper, Marius Francois. We signed him for £500,000 from Servette in Switzerland. We initially got him in a free transfer, to come in the summer, but they were only looking for £500,000 to bring him in, and I looked at my goalkeeping depth and thought could probably do with him coming in. The 20-year-old Swiss goalkeeper, he's similar ability to Ryan Morris. It'll be a good competition. I may have told him possibly that he'd be the first choice keeper, which is a lie. But if Morris starts doing something silly, we'll bring on Francois. And Francois can definitely be our cup keeper anyway to give him some games. But yeah, another good goalkeeper, 3-star to compete with Morris. Just a signing I forgot about. It's easy. I sign lots of players. Lots of players that you don't even know about because I don't tell you about them until they actually are important for the first team. Like if I go to look at the transfers and the transfer history here, in January there is 10 players that we've signed, but most of them have ended up in the youth team, so we don't have to worry about it. Another offer here for Ryan Morris. Brentford again in with the offer. We will reject that. We're just about to get to the end of transfer deadline day without losing anyone else apart from Cronetta, but we have replaced him with Alfredo. We've reached the end of transfer deadline day. Thank goodness for that. You can see the biggest transfers are all out of the Scottish Premiership. Bobby Thomas to Shanghai, Guangzhou get Cronetta, and Valia from Celtic goes to Torino. Biggest spenders on me, 27 million. That's just on a couple of players mainly, and we've brought in 10 players. But I'll be honest, our net is very much in the negative, as in we've received more money than we spent, because I wasn't going to be spending like £60 million I've got from those two players. We definitely didn't spend that. And you can see the bank balance now shows that there's 23 million in the bank. It was sitting around about zero before this window, so that's nice. We've had 18 million profit this month. Right, I'll see you in a couple of days, and we'll see what this new look Killie team looks like for the game against Motherwell in the league. I'll show you a game, why not? I can't just let you sit there and watch me talking about transfers that are coming in. Let's play a game. Well, we play on the Sunday up against Motherwell, and everyone else plays on the Saturday. You can see the results have just happened. Celtic scraped a 1-0 against Hearts. Rangers, goodness me, what a game. 5-4 against Hibs. All but two of the goals coming in the first half. It was 4-3. Sorry, 4-2, not 4-3. 4-2 at half time. Goodness me. Hibs tried a comeback in that second half. It didn't quite make it. So that puts the pressure on us to get the win against Motherwell. Otherwise, we're dropped 9 points behind Rangers, and that's a big gap to try and close at this stage of the season. So here we are ready for the Motherwell game. A couple of changes having to be made because of injuries and things like that. Ryan Morris is suffering from a little injury, so Francois will get to make his debut in goal for us. We'll see how he does there. And Greno's struggling with some fitness as well, so we're going to get Louis Sibley in at left back. So the team looks like this. Francois with Perez and Anderson. Perez and Anderson, the new centre-back partnership, obviously. Just in front of Francois in his first game. Hopefully we'll do okay. Sika on the right and Sibley on the left. Vlalic and Stacey with their partnership in the middle. Jovic just in front. Lambert on the right and Ketty on the left. And Alfredo makes his debut up front. Let's see if he can score. So here we go. The game kicks off. Let's see if Alfredo can get a goal on his debut for the club. Bear in mind, he's only been here, about 3 days, and now he's playing up front for us. Probably doesn't know much English at all, but football is a universal language, and let's see if him and Jovic can work well together here. Jovic finds Alfredo, and Alfredo, oh, what a chance. 6 minutes into his debut to get a goal, but not quite Lambert swings in the corner and it's cleared away. Oh, what a chance that was for Alfredo. Lambert with a free kick for us, swung in toward the back post. Alfredo goes for it. And it's a penalty given by Willie Collins. I'm not quite sure what went on there, but Eddie Nketiah is going to take the penalty kick. Let's see how he does with it. He takes a short run up and he thrashes it in the bottom left-hand side, and we're up 1-0. A good penalty from Eddie Nketiah. I'm not quite sure what it was for. It looked like Alfredo jumped up and someone was pulled. It was probably a push. Often happens in Football Manager, but that's a nicely taken penalty by Nketiah. Obviously, we've lost all our penalty takers this season. Magallanes was taking them, and then he got sold, and then it was Creneta, and now he's been sold. So now Nketiah takes the penalties, and hopefully he can continue to score them the way that Creneta was scoring them earlier on this season. Perez with the ball here, back out to Sika on the right-hand side, and Vlalic. It'll come back to Perez, who is a ball-playing centre-back. He can also play in midfield, so he's very versatile like that. Sika down the right-hand side. Can he swing this ball in toward Lambert? Lambert with the ball over. Oh, it's a goal. It looks like Jovic kicked that off of a Motherwell player. I'm not quite sure. I need to see this on the replay. But Sika comes down the line. The ball goes into Lambert, who eventually gets the ball across the box. Jovic is there, as well as Alfredo. Jovic kicks it. It seems to bounce off Edwards back onto Jovic and in. Something like that. Nonetheless, a goal. We're winning 2-0 here just as we reach half-time. But there is one more highlight before we actually get to half-time. And let's see if that can result in the third goal for us, or will it make it 2-1? And Motherwell get themselves back into this game. The ball all the way back to a 40 here, and the Motherwell goal. Alfredo tries to shut that down. It's launched long, and Leonard with it now. He's slightly injured, but he hits it, and it's straight at Francois, who doesn't really have to move, and has had a fairly easy debut here up against Motherwell. Well, we're well into the second half now, and this is the first highlight. Lambert swings it in, and Jovic scores, but he's disallowed for offside. Very disappointing. It's been a very, very boring second half so far before that. There hadn't actually been any highlights. I think I'll bring some players on. We'll bring Castellon on for Eddie Nketiah on the left-hand side. We'll bring off Vlalic and play Ryan Hamill in there, and Pena can play alongside him. Make all three subs at one time. Why not, just be crazy, making all the subs at once, just in case we have an injury. We'd go down to 10 men. But it looks like we're not going to have that. Motherwell have changed to 4-3-3 to try to get something here in this game. But it's not going to happen. That second half's been very, very boring. But there's 90 seconds to go, and there's almost certainly going to be another chance here. Castellon with it on the left. He plays it into Pena. Pena plays it into the box toward Lambert. Oh, and he flicks it off the bar. And it's just going to be a 2-0 victory here. There we go. What did I say? We're going to have an injury. Sika is injured, so he's going to have to come off, and we've reached full time. I wonder how long Sika is going to be out for there. A nice win in the end, a 2-0 victory against Motherwell. A nice solid performance from us. You can see that brings us up just 2 points behind Celtic again with a game in hand, and we're still 6 points behind Rangers, having played the same number of games. Sika is out for 2 to 3 weeks. It seems we're going to have to play probably Rodriguez in there at right back to cover for him for the next wee while. I'm getting slightly worried because Sika gets quite a few injuries. I'm not going to say injury prone, but certainly he's used to being injured. So we'll advance on a little bit now. I'm not sure when we'll show you. Likely it's going to be the Europa League second knockout round. Obviously we don't know who we're going to be playing in that yet, but it might be the Scottish Cup quarter final if we get to that after beating Ross County. Might be worth showing you that if we get a Scottish Cup run, but certainly it's going to be sometime around March, I would say. We will come back and we can see how we're getting on. You see the new look team. We've done well. We've not lost a game this calendar year after a kind of dodgy spell in the middle of December. We're in fairly decent form. Hopefully we can continue that on. I'm just very aware that I'm showing you a lot of kind of the middle of the season, which is not particularly interesting at the moment. The end of the season is where it's going to get exciting. Can we get our European title, or at least get very deep into the Europa League knockout rounds? I'm hoping that we can. And in the Scottish Premiership, it could be very, very tasty toward the end of the season. I'm not sure if Rangers are going to pull ahead or if we can keep up with them, because last year we thought at this stage it was going to be a great title race and we fell away toward the second half of the season. So hopefully we can keep that push going on here. So if you have enjoyed this episode, it's a wee bit something different, showing you deadline day and all the stuff that goes on with it, then please do leave a like on the video. It really does help out the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already, and until the next one, we'll see you then.